and a very good evening to the Championship Review Show. We're on match day 38. We've got some loads of games we're going to talk about, including Middlesbrough at home to Bristol City, which Coventry play against Southampton. Also, at the bottom of the table, we had Leicester against QPR with Millwall trying to get into second place by they played against Blackburn Rovers. So we'll discuss all the games across the weekend. Let's say good evening to both Stefan and Michael. Good evening to you, gentlemen. How you doing?
Evening.
I imagine Stefan is going to be absolutely doing cartwheels, as we said off air after Friday night. But yeah, I'm not doing all right. I'm not doing too bad. Sorry, Carl. How are you getting on? Good point for you lot today.
Well, yeah, even though we worked out to 10 men, the officiating was
I can imagine
bad.
it was a weird sort of 5 minutes for you because you went from, oh, right, we've got a penalty. No, we've missed it. No, we're down to 10 men, all in the space of about 5 minutes. But yeah, I have to be fair, the referee in your game was dodgy. Like
he refereed in the same. He refereed the reverse fixture a couple of weeks ago where we beat them. So it's surprising he got the officiate again when he was so shy. He was so shy, bro. I wouldn't be a Liverpool fan like Doug, and to be honest, because from his reactions from what we both.
Well, safe to say, apart from Stefan, then I don't think any of us had a great weekend in terms of results.
Come on.
As in Doug, Liverpool. Well, actually, you lot, I think a point at Palace, especially with 10 men's a good result. And then obviously we lost at home to Brighton. But, you know, next week's more important for us anyway, as long as we turn up in that one.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We will see that anyway. Right. You know what? Let's discuss the 11 games that's been played over the weekend. And do you know what I'm going to start off? I'm going to start off actually probably the shock of the result this weekend is Blackburn coming from goal down to beat 10-man Millwall 2-1. What a good over free kick from Luke Kundo, to put Millwall in the lead. But again, Zach Sturge was sent off, for bringing down Osani and as well. And then Matthias Jorgensen got 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of each of the game. And to quite honestly, a really good result for Blackburn, who a bit of been a bit of a dip up at the moment, but a good result.
I think it's one that's obviously crucial at both ends of the table, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Annie's coming. Annie's in there in the chat. Come on, Annie, get your backside on, mate. To be fair, it's one that had ramifications at both ends of the table, didn't it? Because obviously Millwall, their game kicked off after Middlesbrough and Coventry both played. So I can only imagine the den was bouncing when Bristol City ended up scoring in the 96th minute at the Riverside. Spoiler ahead if anyone's not seen the results somehow. But and then obviously Millwall end up losing. Obviously the context is they were down to 10 men. Quite controversially, I think, because I think once I can get this uploaded, I think when Sturge got sent off, I think was it Cooper was covering as the last man anyway. Yeah. So to me, I think it was quite dodgy that Millwall went down to 10 men. But look, I think Millwall obviously causes disappointing, isn't it? Because obviously Middlesbrough dropped points and it's a chance for them to get in the top. Well, they would have gone in the top 2, wouldn't they, Millwall, had they won this game? Yeah. So Blackburn are funny though. Like, I mean, Millwall obviously down to 10 men helps, but they drew at home to Portsmouth, I think it was last weekend. Then they lose to Oxford in midweek, and then they go to Millwall and win. And I've said this to Annie loads of times, and I think Carl and Stefan has heard this as well. I think Carl will. Oh, right. Hang on, Annie. I will fix you up on that. Give me a moment.
Save it. I can. Let me just.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I'm in the Twitter group chat, so it's fine.
All right. I was going to put it in the chat. In the chat.
Well, we need to get Annie's phone number and actually get him in.
That's true. Yeah,
we need to actually get right. Annie, get your phone number. Give us one of your phone number. We'll add you to the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Right, there we go. Just sent it, mate. Have a look. that was organised on my part. That was my mistake. But anyway, no, I think, but Blackburn, I mean, it's massive for them. But I've really looked at this, and I want to go what you guys think about this, and we'll talk more about this when we talk about the other teams. But I think Coventry are going to go up, and I think it's a case of who gets second. Then the relegation battle, apart from Sheffield Wednesday. Who on earth is going to get relegated? Because I can't call this at all. Because you've got Leicester on 38, Oxford 39, West Brom and Portsmouth on 40, Blackburn on 42. And I would say it's probably 2 of them 4 to get relegated. I don't know. I just kind of call it. It's absolutely bonkers.
I can call it, but if I had to stick my neck out and give you 2, I would say West Brom and Leicester. Well,
now, remember do you guys remember the chant? Actually, I don't think Carl was there, but it was me, Stefan, Annie, and Ant, I think it was, when Ant came on and he had a full-blown rant about just how Like 10 years ago, we won the Premier League. 4 years ago, we're playing Roma in Europe. Why are we going to effing Bromley in League One next season? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
fucking Bromley.
yeah, well done, Leicester. Now you get to experience you get to experience it all over again. But yeah, so I think from Blackburn's point of view, to sort of get back on track, though, I think from Blackburn's perspective, to come from behind and win was massive, and especially away at a hard place like the Den.
Yeah.
Even if they did have 10 men, you've still got to go and take advantage of what's in front of them. Obviously, Millwall again, because of Bristol City doing them a favour at lunchtime, and then they still didn't take advantage, is going to be a bit annoying. But I think for Millwall, the context is they were down to 10 men. But obviously, they were 1-0 up as well until the 78th minute, I think it was. I'll just double check that. Oh, 80th. More or less.
80th minute, and then the score again
So,
5 minutes later.
I think Alex Neil will be disappointed regardless of the red card. But I think in a way, it's still not the end of the world for them, given that the gap between Middlesbrough, Ipswich, and Millwall, or between all of them, is 2 points. I know that Hull are kind of outsiders for that as well, but I've never felt Hull would ever have enough to really trouble the top 2 perspectives. So, Stefan, are you trying to smirk there because you're hoping Wrexham can overtake Hull and get 5th?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'll tell you what then. I'm actually saying that, yeah, the gap's 3 points with the game in hand. Okay, so it could happen. What I was going to say was, could you imagine if Millwall ended up finishing 4th, Wrexham versus Millwall in the semis? Oh, bring it on, please. That would be so funny. But yeah, either way, though, yeah, I think for Millwall, the context of the red card changes it. Whereas for Blackburn, I think if you don't take advantage, you're disappointed. So when Blackburn, I think, were in the bottom 3, I think, following their defeat to Oxford in midweek, obviously to jump out of it is massive. And as we were just saying, Annie, before you came on air, that I'm struggling to call who on earth is going to get relegated from this bloody division. Well, apart from Sheffield Wednesday, obviously. Because every single week it feels like it changes. Because I don't know what you think, but it's like with Blackburn. It's a typical Blackburn thing. If you said to a Blackburn fan, right, out of Portsmouth at home, Oxford away, Millwall away, you're going to get 4 points. Oh, but by the way, your win's going to be at Millwall and you're going to lose away at Oxford.
Typical championship, that. I mean,
League championship. That's the phrase I always say.
Yeah, it's a cracking win for Blackburn. I'm not sure it's a red card.
No, I don't think it is. I was just saying the other guys, Cooper's covering as the red card happens anyway. So I think it's a bit. So if anything, it should have been a yellow at most, probably.
It's not even that. He's going away from goal as well, isn't he? He's gonna get hounded out eventually. So it's not an obvious goal scoring opportunity. He might get a shot off, but it's gonna be a tricky angle. I'm not sure that's a red. I'll be honest. So. Yeah, I think Millwall will feel hard done by. It's a cracking goal by Condell. And then Michael O'Neill deserves a lot of credit for this because he mentioned this as well, so it just takes a little bit off. But he started with a Hashi, and I think at half time, he brings off a Hashi, brings on Jorgensen, makes that switch. Anyway, he makes that switch before it happens, and Jorgensen comes on and scores 2 goals. And he's been a really good signing since January. I think he scored 5 goals, which is not a bad return for a team that's down near the bottom. So, yeah, great win for Blackburn. But the context of it, when you're down to 10, or you're facing a team that's down to 10 for the majority of the second half, I think if you're a team in that situation, and no matter who you're playing and the game's opened up to you like that, you have to go and take something from it at the very least. I think a draw would have been a decent result. Away is just the cherry on top. And with West Brom winning, obviously Pompey have got to play tomorrow night. That's a great win for Blackburn. Yeah, but Millwall, huge missed opportunity with Middlesbrough dropping points.
Oh yeah, it is, and like I said, this was probably the game of the weekend. Actually, both the sides in the opposite ends of the table. Really, with Millwall trying to go for automatic promotion, then you have Blackburn trying to fight to stay up. And actually, I think, like I said, the game changed with red card anyway, which was a red card, but a really good win away for Blackburn as well. Let's go to the other teams that is now in the bottom 3, which is Leicester City, unfortunately, and Harry Vale getting his first goal after Chris McWayne just beat them 3-1. Justin, like I said, Justin James getting the goal. Justin James. Yeah, thank you. That's what Jordan James.
It's usually me who gets things wrong, so you're fine.
Jordan James took it up and goal as well, and then all of a sudden Vale did the lob and tapped it in to make it 1-1 in Ben Nelson's own goal, and then Edwards getting a header from a corner. It's just such a mess going down at Leicester. And I was looking at Chris from Chris's YouTube channel, LRTD TV, and he said something yesterday after the game. He backed Wright when he first came in. He's now, I think it's now a huge regret that Wright was coming into a situation where it's just it's nearly come to the 10th anniversary in 2 months' time when Leicester won the title. So the Premier title 10 years ago. It's just so much best. Yeah, and we miss you.
Yeah,
but
it's when you're going to be playing Bromley next season.
Yeah, that's the first there. Yeah. Where can Leicester get their win at the moment? Because, like we just said, it's hard to know which the other two is going to go down.
Can I just say, by the way, Annie must be so frustrated at this, given the fact that their win was against Bristol City, and then literally everybody else, it's like Norwich lose, QPR lose, but there you go.
What, 1 clean sheet in 31 games, and guess who it was against?
Bristol City.
Yeah, didn't they? Anyway, not yeah. Again, Leicester are just
a shambles.
It doesn't matter if they take the lead, as long as they concede a goal and it's a tight game. If it's a 1-goal deficit, if it's a 1-goal margin, or it's 0-0, and you score against Leicester, you will win the game if you've got time. You will win the game, because that is just, they're so fragile. It is unbelievable. The King Power can just turn like that against these players, and rightly so. They've been a complete disappointment.
I don't know if you heard the chants yesterday from the QPR fans when I saw a video that we'll be looking forward to playing Tottenham. We'll be playing Tottenham, and then they'll be playing Bromley next season.
God.
Yeah, I mean, just they're terrible, Leicester. I mean, Jordan James is the standout player there, and he scores a beautiful goal. I mean, that's the thing with Leicester. We say, they've got individual players. At the start of the season, we kind of said, well, they're scoring these sort of worldies, and that's sort of keeping them in a sort of. They were near the playoffs at the start of the season, and we said, that's what's keeping them there. Like James and Fatu and Mavididi will obviously score the odd. Aaron Ramsey as well. I don't know where I think he's injured. Scored the odd absolute worldie. And just, that's obviously not going to be enough. The 23rd now, I think the 23rd.
Yeah.
And that psychologically it's just such a gut punch. It felt like, when did we play them? Tuesday? That was a turning point. And that was like, okay, these guys are going to now turn things around. They're going to win games. They've lost at home to QPR side, who are in crap form, got nothing to play for, and are conceding goals left, right, and centre, and they've conceded 3 after going 1-0 up. As soon as you go 1-0 up against QPR, you should be winning that game. If you're a team that's got something to play for, you should be winning that game. That's no disrespect to QPR, and the fact that Leicester have lost it so poorly. I mean, goal from a set piece, an own goal.
And then whatever the first goal was.
The first goal was also just yeah. Credit to Harvey Vale for that. I mean, he does take it over, and then the ball's getting away from him quite quickly, and it's a tight angle, and he finishes it really nicely. But still, defensive. The build up to that, horrible from Leicester, and they're just nowhere near it at the moment. No.
Do you remember the comment we made about before the points deduction, where we raised concerns about Leicester's mentality if they did get a point deduction now? And it strikes me that actually they seem to, and this to me, I don't know what you guys think, to me they seem to be able to get up for your Middlesbroughs away or your Ipswich's away. There's no coincidence they've got draws from both of those games. They're able to get up for them. But then when you're playing Norwich at home, mid-table, well, okay, maybe they could have a late float for the playoffs, but at the minute they're mid-table. QPR, mid-table, probably now should be more or less on the beach. And they've pretty much got nothing then. Lost both of those games. So it's like, yes, I know they beat Bristol City midweek, but is that the anomaly and the exception rather than any sort of rule they could be establishing? Sorry to make Annie feel much worse for that result. But if you're looking at the other two, I'm really concerned about how they just fold like a deck of cards as soon as anything remotely goes against them. I'll just bring up Gary Rowett's comments, if that's okay.
I will do. I'm
going to Leicester. So he says, it was like Christmas morning if you're QPR, which is a damning statement. We've given them 3 goals. I'm not taking anything away from their performance. They've worked incredibly hard to stop us getting into good areas. We started quite brightly and got in good areas, played through the lines well, culminating in a goal from Jordan James, a lovely pass through the lines, and JJ takes it on the back foot and runs. Really positive. Maybe we have to do that more often. The goal we conceded just before half-time was a stupid goal to concede. A player's given time on the ball 60 yards away, sticks a ball over the top, and we don't track the runner, and he nicks it round Jacob Stolarczyk and scores. I could talk about a million things in the game, but we need to be better trying to break a team down. And if you conceded 3 goals in that manner, you're not winning any game in the championship.
Yeah, and like Chris said about this turnout about yesterday, it's the words fail him. I want to believe in and back right, but when we need to engage, he plays 3/4 of the match with A up front, and he makes it always well. 1 step forward, 3 back is really the man to save us, and it's a deep worry if you're Leicester. What was going, like I said, for Chris to come up, because a couple of weeks ago when I spoke to him, he felt like with Garrett could have been the right man when we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, Stefan, on the Saturday show. It just looks like the plan's backfired massively at this moment in time.
Yep. And unfortunately, it's going to continue to backfire because, like I said, in the short term, to get him through to the end of the season, Robert's fine, but in the long term, no. Well, I say Robert's fine, but if they keep losing and get relegated, he's going to be the English Igor Tudor, I think.
Can I just say, if you look at Leicester's next 3, they've got Watford next Saturday before the international break, but their Easter fixtures stand out to me as vital if they're going to have any chance of staying up. They've got Preston at home on Good Friday, and Preston are in a real slump at the moment. And then the big one, they go to Hillsborough on the Easter Monday. If they don't come out of those 2 fixtures with at least 4 points for me, or even out of the next 3, if they need to come out of that for me with at least 5 or 6 points. If they don't come out with that, then I'm really worried about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a question from Chris Brown. He's asked us a question: who would you for support? We know with you, Michael, he sees.
Yeah, he can obviously see who I support.
Yeah. Chris, for me, I am a big Leeds United fan because I've been living in Scotland for quite a while because I've grew up in England. I'm also a Hearts fan and also a local club, the Spartans, which is not far from where I live, across the road as well. Stefan himself, he's a Hibs.
He supports about 3 different teams, him.
Yeah. Stefan is a Hibs and Manchester United fan, and also he is a Wrexham fan as well. And Annie himself is a Unfortunately, locally, typically Bristol City fan.
If that was Stefan saying it, he would have said Bristol and just left it there.
And as any Bristol City fan should, on the Thatcher's goal.
He's on the side. Proper job.
Well, it's better than me when I had a glass of milk to just come on medication when it was Bailey's. So.
Stefan, if you start dissing apple and blackcurrant squash, you and me are going to have some serious problems, my friend.
Well, to quite honest with you, because I'm going to Costco tomorrow as well, I might be getting some squashes like that as well tomorrow, amongst other things. So, yeah.
Worth a squash, that.
Yeah, you can't do
that. It's true. Right, let's go to the other teams around the bottom. West Brom beating Hull City 3-0. Actually, a good win. A really good win for West Brom. And especially, after the
Stefan, can you at least try to be objective, mate?
Just a bit of partiality, please.
No, clearly. Oh, West Brom have beaten Hull, Stefan.
I know. You can impartiality, Stefan. Come on. West Brom getting their first win since the 2019-7 and then move out of the championship relegation. So it's goals from Josh Meyer and Hegbo and Isaac Price as well. A really good game for West Brom. They needed to, that was a good performance for them against a disappointed Hull side that went down to 10 men for half time.
They've been really good last 3 games, West Brom. They went to Sheffield United, got a point. Okay, can see the late goal against Southampton, but probably should have won that game. Tight game. Okay, maybe draw was a fair result. But okay, you've got the red card in there, which again, I'm not sure that's a red card either. Okay, Jed Wallace is probably going to get a shot off, but clear goal scoring opportunity? No, I'm not sure. So yeah, I think Hull could feel a little bit hard done by. Again, he's probably going to go towards goal, Jed Wallace, but his starting position is literally on the right-hand side of the box. It's a free kick on the right-hand side away from the box. So I'm not sure that's a red card either. You guys might disagree, but that's a cracking win for West Brom. Circumstances put in front of you. They go 1-0 up even before the red card. Lovely goal by Madja to finish. Lovely team move.
Yeah.
And then second half they pile it on and Hegbo scores, and once it goes 2-0, that's pretty much game over. And Isaac Price scores later on to make it 3. It'll be good for him to get on the score sheet and have some confidence, because he's when he's at it, and if Isaac Price is bothered and can turn up, West Brom are going to win a lot of games because of him alone linking up with a Mancha or a DK or a Hegbo or a Mauer. And just saying these players, I mean, they've got some unbelievable players, West Brom, who are on their day.
Down there, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, they shouldn't be. And who was it? Jurkovic, the whole manager, said as much after the game. He was like, no, they've got some unbelievable players. They're not a 21st or whatever they are place team. They should be sort of hello, really, and challenging for those playoff positions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really, really good win, and they needed that because you've got two good performances, but where's the win? And the fact that I think you can have all the good performances you want. You just need those wins at this moment right now, because Oxford, I think, with 3 wins in a row or 4 wins in a row.
3 wins in the last 4 because they played yesterday.
Yeah. But as in before this game week, and then obviously Charlton have won quite a few games. Who was the other one? Leicester won in midweek. So pressure would have been on quite a bit, and this is a tough game. So to win at the Hawthorns as well, James Morrison is doing a good job to get sort of milk the best out of these Albion players, and they're in a tough spot. And if they can just keep winning games with the quality they have, I think they're at the relegation. They're out of the relegation zone at the moment. Well, I don't see why they can't stay out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me that James Morrison's been calling the players in the team out the last couple of weeks. But with yesterday's performance, part of me thinks it could be reverse psychology. And it's beginning to pay off, because yesterday's West Brom is a far shadow of what we've seen the last 2, 3 and a bit months. Yesterday is like the West Brom of old West Brom. It was fighting for survival. I wouldn't say a Premier League scrap.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Another important factor, if you look at West Brom's fixtures, I think we've got 8 games left now, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at, so you got Bristol City at the weekend away, which Annie will probably tell you is going to be a West Brom win, no doubt. Then you got Wrexham at home on the Good Friday. Okay, then you've got Blackburn away Easter Monday. Okay, the tricky ones have got left for me. Millwall at home after that, and then they've got Preston away, could be mid-table by then. Watford at home, exactly the same principle. Ipswich at home, okay, fair enough. Ipswich might need a result there if they're going to still be in the top 2 hunt. And then the last game, they've got Sheffield Wednesday away. So they've got the fixtures for me to get the points to get themselves out of it. It's just a matter of whether they can build off yesterday more consistently. What's good for them is they've got 5 points from Sheffield United away, Southampton at home, and Hull at home, which I think all of whom are top half sides at the bare minimum. So if you'd offered any West Brom fan that, I think they would have wondered what cocaine you're smoking, because they wouldn't have seen them getting any points out of those games given the way they've been playing. But if they've got the fixtures to stay up, it's just a matter for me whether they do it or not.
Yeah.
Just quickly, one concern would be that Max O'Leary went out injured in the second half, I think, midway through. So that's their number 1 choice goalkeeper. Of course, he gets injured the week before he plays us, right? Of course that happens.
Would you not have been worried about him turning into Superman, though, going back to his old
he turned into Prime Yashin or something.
He'd have turned into the Bristol City with what's his name, Max O'Leary, when we played each other a couple of seasons ago, when he pulled on the absolute blinder against us at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, and that same fixture that season at Ashton Gate as well, where you just had about 55 shots and we won 1-0.
Yeah, and he almost went full Gandalf from Lord of the Rings then, didn't he? You shall not pass.
That was the period where you guys were like, oh, we really need a striker here, and you created literally about 50 golden opportunities.
And afterwards we were just going, who's this twat in goal? He's really, really good.
I think it was Nazaro Rusin up top for you. Anyway.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Like, I think that might be a concern, but he hasn't been doing that great for West Brom anyway, though, has he? Really?
Yeah, no, good point. But I think it's the case of you'd rather him than
Well,
Josh
no,
Griffiths.
obviously, you don't want to bring in a
but-
youngster in a midst of a relegation battle, do you?
Well, the Westwood did say a lot of the injury is not too serious, so I think there will be an assessment hopefully before the Bristol City game this week coming up.
But
so
even
I
if he
think,
doesn't play then, they've got an international break after that. So, then it's a bit of time afterwards.
yeah, absolutely as well. And Chris, and you look like a new user, please thank you for your message, and also subscribe to this channel as well, and also please subscribe to my co-hosts' channels as well through Stefan's, Michael, and Annie's through my page as well. He supports Millwall, Bath City, Hearts, and Malaga. It's okay because they never play each other, and that's a good point. So at least he get the fair look with that one.
Love it.
Unless Buddy Millwall comes up in the Premier League next season, then they play against the 3 out of the 4 teams that we support, which is ourselves, Stefan and Michael. So
Yeah, is that you say assuming Wrexham come up and you stay up, then 3 of us could be in the Premier League.
well,
I feel horrible. I feel horrible for Annie here. We're absolutely missing the guy out.
I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered.
I mean, the other version is the version Carl probably won't want, which is if Leeds go down, then you could have the 3 of us in the Championship.
That's not happening, is it? That's not happening, is it? It's not happening.
Listen, well, I'll talk about that with Doug on Tuesday. Either we do the 20 Premier League podcast recording because I need to say a bit about that. That 5 minute. That 5 minute fracas.
Well, if you're talking about that relegation scrap, I'm going. Thank fuck, we're on 40 points.
If I give my 2 cents, I'm going to say Nottingham Forest join Burnley and Wolves.
Fair. Well, unless Forest stays in the Europa League and they overturn that.
I could see that if they get through against Midtjylland, I could see that happening.
Yeah, so well, Michael, we do want your recording of your post match review of the Sunderland Brighton game, so we're gonna need that. So.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I know.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I can't complain, really, can I? Yeah, but go on then. Let's go on to the next game.
Right, let's go to the team the teams in the bottom of the table. It was a Charlie Kellerman converted a late penalty to give Charlton a 1-1 draw at Oxford United. Cameron Brangan scored in a penalty in the 57th minute. Was this a fair draw for both these teams? Particularly, maybe 2 points drop for Oxford was disappointing. They expected to win this game to get out of the bottom 3.
I think the draw was fair, but I think Oxford would have been filled with confidence considering the last 3 results leading up to yesterday's game. So if you're filled with confidence, Oxford would maybe see it as 2 points dropped rather than a point gained from a draw. But I think if you're of a Charlton perspective, I think you would be happy with just not getting defeated.
Yeah,
I think I'd agree with that. I think if you're looking at just purely on the league table, and I've always backed Charlton across the season to have enough to stop. I think most of us pretty much have. I mean, what's that? They're on 48 points. At very most, they probably need 1 more win or a couple of draws. But even then, they might not even need that. So I think that if you're Charlton, this game for me was a must-not-lose game because you don't want to give Oxford a smidgen of a chance of catching you at this point in the season. And if Oxford had won that game, then I think that it just creeps a little. I don't think Charlton would have gone down even if they'd lost, by the way. But it just puts that little bit of. It just eases it a little bit. I mean, what's the gap between the 2 of them? I think it's 9 points. I mean, 9 points with 8 games left. I mean, that's not getting made up, surely. So, yeah, I think from Charlton's point of view, Charlton are in the position now. I don't know what you think, Annie. For me, Charlton in the position now where they can just afford to draw games now, and that's more than good enough for them.
Yeah, and they've got Bristol City at home, so they've got another 3 points on their.
There is the Annie.
Yep.
Seriousness, they have got Sheffield Wednesday away, so that is somewhere you can.
Well, that's the one their fans would say that needs to be 3 points, doesn't it?
Yeah,
or
and then
a draw,
Then if you get on to 51 and obviously beat Bristol City 54, you're there. Anyway, no, in all seriousness, that'll be a bit of a relief for Charlton, I think. I think, obviously, again, as you said, Michael, unlikely to get caught by Oxford, but yeah, just a bit of relief not to lose that game. I think Oxford got a penalty for the first time since they got promoted to the Championship.
Wow, that's quite wow.
I might be wrong, but anyway, it's been a long time since they've had a penalty. Oxford and Cameron Brannigan, of course, steps up to score, and the exact penalty incident that got the penalty for Oxford happened up the other end for Charlton, where it was a free kick into the box, and Kieran Brown, I don't know what he's doing.
No.
Looks like Jamie Cummings at least going to go punch it away, if not, grab the ball ahead of Lloyd Jones. And he decides to, instead of jump for the ball and, distract Lloyd Jones or make it uncomfortable for him, he just tries to grab his shirt, just drag him. That is ludicrous
Which
defending.
he did need to do because it was
I feel necessary, isn't it?
But the thing was, in that game as well, both penalty incidents were pretty much carbon copies of
Yeah,
each
they were
other.
pretty much identical, weren't they?
so
Both
the
ends
same.
of the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous. I think the Charlton penalty the penalty Charlton got, I think that's ridiculous defending by Kieran Brown. He just does not need to be doing that at all. But yeah, scores Charlie Kellman. I think second time this season against Oxford as well. So no, I think that's a good point for Charlton considering how late the penalty was that they got. But Oxford would be disappointed they haven't gone 4 in a row. I think they really well. They put themselves in a position where if you said to an Oxford fan, you'll win the game as long as you don't concede at home and you keep a clean sheet against Charlton at home, I think they'd have taken that. And the fact that they haven't been able to keep the clean sheet and they were so close, just ridiculous defending by Kieran Brown.
Yeah.
I think they'll be disappointed not to get that when they're the line.
Can I just say, but to be fair to Oxford though, they've done brilliantly the last 4 games.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
They've given it. I mean, sorry, Carl, I don't know if that's what you were going to say, but I think that they've done themselves justice in the sense that they were pretty much, they weren't adrift by any means, but they were starting to get to the point where it could look like it was going to be Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford, and then one other. Whereas now they've at least dragged themselves right back into the conversation with beating West Brom, beating Preston, beating Blackburn, and then obviously drawing yesterday. Yes, it's as gutting as that will be. They've won 2 head-to-heads and they've gone away from home against Preston, which, okay, Preston I think now are starting to really be on a slump, but that's not Oxford's problem. You go there and take advantage of whatever you can. And I can't imagine Oxford would have won many away games this season. I think the only ones at the top of my head I can think of are Bristol City and Leicester, I think, before this. They're the only ones I can remember them winning. Yeah, I know, Annie, I know. It's depressing.
Preston as well in this.
That's what I'm saying before Preston.
Yeah.
You guys in Leicester, and they might have beaten someone. I don't know if they've won anyone else. But like,
Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you need to win that one, don't you? But so I think for Oxford to get 10, let's put it this way: before they kicked off against West Brom at the Kassam, you offered them 10 points out of their next 4. They would have been all delighted with that, and they've got more. They've got more than every chance now of getting themselves to safety. And I would say, to be fair to Matt Bloomfield, if he keeps Oxford up,
what a job!
Well, fair play to him for that. Fair play to him for that.
We talk about 3 wins in a row. They've got 11 points in 6, which is nearly 2 points per game. Go and do the maths. But yeah, so there's been 6 games where they've been playoff form, well, nearly automatic promotion form, and they're building, aren't they? They're building it really nicely. Okay, they've had West Brom at home, who were at that point still to a certain degree are in a bit of crisis. Preston away, who are fading away, petering out really quickly and really, really poorly. Obviously, this one at home to another former, fellow relegation threatened side. So you could say they've had, and obviously Blackburn at home as well, who are directly involved in that relegation conversation. So you could say they've had slightly kind fixtures. You could make that argument. But that's still a really
still got to
impressive...
win their fixtures, though, haven't you? When the pressure's on, though, those are the games teams tend not to win. So, and if you look at the remaining fixtures, their next 2 are quite tricky. Southampton away and Hull at home. So if you get past them, well, we know Stefan will be cheering on Oxford on Good Friday when they're playing Hull. But other than that, well, probably both of them, actually, to be fair. But other than that, after that, they go to Pompey away, 6-pointer. Watford and Derby. Now, Watford at home, who I believe will be on the beach by that point. That's a huge game for them in that regard. Unless something mental happens and I've got the table totally wrong, I think Watford are quite some way off the playoffs. 8 points. It's not insurmountable, but it's not looking likely. So by that point, when it's like, 4 or 5 games left from the end, Watford could more or less be on the beach by that point. Derby away, depends if they're still in the conversation. They've got Wrexham at home, which I think if Wrexham, I don't think they will be, but if Wrexham are at that point secured in the playoffs, then I could see Oxford winning that. If Wrexham have to go there and get something, then it's a bit trickier. And then, but the big one, which I don't know if any of you noticed, their last home game is Sheffield Wednesday. So that's one where I think if they're on, well, they're on 39 points. I think if they can get to 36, 37 points before that Sheffield Wednesday game and they beat Sheff Wed, then they're more within with a chance. And another one, they've got Millwall away on the final day. Similar scenario. If they have dropped off the top two but have secured playoffs, that's a great time for Oxford to play Millwall. So, I would say, but I'm with Andy. I think that'll be a hell of a job from Matt Bloomfield if he keeps Oxford up, though. Especially given how there was a lot of discontent around with Rowett, what was going on there. They can talk about whether their squad was as good or not as last season or whichever way you want. But I think in that sense, I think Matt Bloomfield's done. And it's not easy to come in mid-season to take over someone else's squad.
It's difficult, especially when it's after the transfer window as well.
That's another great point, yeah. So I think Matt Bloomfield will have done outstandingly if he keeps Oxford up, especially when he's competing against. Okay, I know the attitude's poor, but look at the players Leicester have got by comparison. Funny enough, how Gary Rowett's now there, weirdly. Then you look at the players that West Brom have got by comparison. If he finishes ahead of at least one of them and keeps Oxford up, well done.
I think you also have to cast your memory back because when Matt Bloomfield went in at Luton, their form towards the back end of that season was outstanding. They were sort of playoff form towards the back end.
It took a while for the methods to set in, I think, didn't it? But once it did, they really started to get going, didn't they?
Yeah, they were really good, and they were quite unlucky because they went down with 49 points, which is
usually
quite a lot.
You up, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite a lot.
It's usually that's the average over points for to stay up as well.
Yeah.
49, 52. 52 is like the average point, especially.
And just to add, by the way, I think Matt Bloomfield had better players to work with at Luton than he has at Oxford.
Yeah. Year one.
She should do because obviously they're a parachute team, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but no, I think
the point is he's done the point is it adds even more to the job he's done at Oxford. Is more the point I mean if he keeps them up compared to the squad he had last season at Luton.
Yeah, so as well. We'll get on to the teams as well around the middle of the top half. And Chris says he's just messaged in. Can't see Leicester staying up. And as we were talking about Gary Rowett is too defensive at Millwall. It was one up front and Hoover up to him, and it always sits back on the lead. And that was what I think thinking there might have been a risk why Oxford had to sack him, because especially that's what he did at Millwall and some other clubs as well. But especially what's going on at Leicester, it's a big job for him to deal with ever since he had that Birmingham City job years ago.
Do you think that Rowett maybe does better at clubs that aren't one of the big hitters? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to Mill, but at the time Rowett went there, they weren't big hitters. They'd not long got promoted from that point, I don't think.
Yeah.
Where now, obviously, they're one of the teams that should be, they would expect to be challenging near the top. And obviously, because they've got Alex Neil, they've got every chance of going up this season, I think. But I mean, the time he went there, Millwall wouldn't have been expected to be around about the place, around about competing for the playoffs. And I just wonder, is this the similar thing with Leicester? Even though Leicester, obviously, their objective now is staying up, but there's far more pressure at Leicester than there would have been at, say, Millwall at the time he was there, and Oxford last season. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory, but it's something I think it's worth. I think it's something that's interesting to talk about.
It was a while back, but did all right with Derby when he had a lot of money and got them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
but when you compare them against the teams they were up against that season in the playoffs, they were underdogs. I think they were up against, was it Middlesbrough, Aston Villa, and Fulham? I think they were the other three teams in the playoffs with them. It was 17-18, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I'm gonna quickly check that, but I'm pretty
it was around 17-18 season. Yeah,
did he get them in the playoffs twice, or am I imagining things?
I think it might have been once. Oh no, hang on. Didn't he go to Stoke? No, he went to Stoke after that. Didn't he go to Stoke?
No,
yes. He was at Derby until the end of 17-18, and then Stoke came down with a bigger budget and went to Stoke.
Yeah,
and then it went. But the point I'm getting at is
because everyone thought Stoke that season, when Bielsa came in, everyone thought Stoke was the favourites to go up that season, and we beat them 3-1, and I think that showed a lot. There was more issues that Stoke than it was compared. So,
well, that's what I was going to say. So if you look at Derby, I've just seen right. So when I look at the playoffs here, so Fulham had 88 points in third, Aston Villa had 83 points in fourth, Middlesbrough 76 points in fifth, and then Derby 75 points in sixth. Now, Derby obviously are huge for the championship, but when you look at them three clubs I've just mentioned, parachute payment heavy. Well, actually, Fulham went at that point, I don't think. But they were all big, heavy hitters, though, when you really stop and think about it. So,
God, that playoff semi-final between Middlesbrough and Villa, Steve Bruce versus Tony Pulis. Good God.
I know.
Oh,
see,
was
that
that
was my
1-0?
reaction when we had Lee Camp in goal for the whole of that season.
Was that 1-0 over 2 legs? I feel like it was. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Villa won the first leg at Riverside 1-0, and then
They
there was
did.
0-0 at Villa Park, second leg.
Something
And then
like
Fulham
that.
obviously beat Villa in the
Don't
final.
forget with those 2 legs, man. Yeah.
Do you know the only good thing for me, for selfishly, to come from that season, and Carl might find this funny, is the alternative commentary when Leeds played Sunderland, and it's one of those Siri-led commentaries when it's full of like swear words and full of like it was. I have to show you afterwards, but it's really funny. But yeah,
No, I know
joking
what you mean. I know what you mean,
joking aside though, like, so I just wonder when getting on Chris's point, like, I just wonder. Typical, me dog picks now to get a squeaky toy. Cheers, Luna. But yeah, no, I think Gary Rowett may suit it when he's at clubs with less expectation than what there would be at Leicester right now.
Yeah.
The problem with Leicester, then, I think I brought this point up a little while ago. You go into Oxford and you can play that style of play. You can go into Millwall, you can play that style of play. You go into Leicester, where you've got players who are have been in the Premier League or think they're good enough to be right at the top end of the Championship. You can't play that sort of football that's almost letting the opposition, waiting for oppositions. And it's not that at all, but it feels like it, where it's almost waiting for the opposition to make a mistake and then you pounce. And then it's all about self-preservation and then building on top of that. I just don't think that cuts with the Leicester players. And on Tuesday, when they beat us, they were on the front foot quite a lot. And it's only really after 60 minutes they sort of sat in and we're pretty happy with 2-0. And you can do that 2-0, can't you? And I think most players would be happy across the world to do that 2-0. But when you're 0-0 and you're starting a game at home and you're sort of sitting in and sort of trying to make it comfortable for the opposition, I just don't think, Abdul Fatabu, Ollie Skip, Harry Winks, Steffi Mavadidi, Patson Dak, players like that should be right in the top of this division. They're really going to be
Ricardo Pereira's still there as well, isn't he?
Ricardo Pereira.
Still there.
Are they really going to be, their prime objective being, okay, we're just going to make ourselves defensively solid and build on top of that? Unless you're, and with these Leicester players, unless you're Jose Mourinho, I don't think that's going to, and I don't think that's going to particularly cut well with those Leicester players. No, I was unsure of whether that style of play would translate quite well, and at the moment it's not, because they're conceding goals, and the goals they're conceding is terrible as well.
Here's another one then. So before we move on though, if Leicester I don't think Leicester would get rid of Gary Rowett, but if Gary Rowett wasn't there, who would do the best bet to keep Leicester up then?
I don't know, and that's a good question. I think what I was asking when I was speaking to Chris a couple of weeks ago, it just like there's no one knows who's the best that can get them out of the situation. Especially if if they got rid of Gary right now, who did they bring in? They can't do what Spurs are like Tottenham Hotspur in the same situation. Who are they going to get
Leicester,
rid of?
There's a lovely guy out there. He's called Michael Beale. He plays absolutely fantastic, glorious football, and he'll attack your fan base on social media through a bot online. Go for Mr. Beale. Beale Doddsball. And he's got his digestives. I love it. If you've watched last week's stream, you know.
I didn't see, that's why I was off last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the milk. Yeah, absolutely. The ballers.
Absolutely.
In the fridge.
Sorry?
Chocolate in the fridge, I'm telling you, lads, ready to go.
I can see Stefan's logic there, personally, but yeah.
Oh God!
We should literally show Carl the ending of last week's stream and just get him to react to it.
I'm going to watch it after we're done.
Yeah, just watch the last 10 minutes. Skip till 10 minutes from the end and just watch where we get into a full-on conversation about food and how we all call each other names.
You talk about food.
I lost my head.
Food opinions.
I fully lost my head, Carl. I'll be honest.
Yeah, he literally did. And it was
really
funny.
Stefan said he preferred dark chocolate over milk chocolate.
Yeah, that deserves losing your head over. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, dark chocolate has its benefits. Okay.
No, don't.
That's fair. He didn't say
I
it was
agree
better,
with this one. I have to agree with
Carl, do you like dark chocolate or milk chocolate better? Even if you like both, which one do you like better?
God's sake.
Or is this where he's going to stitch us up here and says he hates milk chocolate?
All right, fine. I like both of them, but I do like just the milk chocolate. But the dark is still good for me because I like. If I went with
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You like
if
both
I
of them,
like
that's fair enough.
my
But
favorite dark chocolate would be one with the sea
Steph's
salt.
looking like, you are just all off your fucking faces, mate. Come on. You're all wrong.
I have to watch the end of this clip anyway.
You've got to. But
Yeah,
I think for
well,
the sake
no.
of the viewers, we'll just move on quick because I think we all really lost it at the end of last week. So
Yeah.
let's on to the next
Yeah,
game before we make
exactly.
another milk versus dark chocolate debate.
Oh God, that's another debate on a non-football show, ladies and gentlemen. Will say that.
Hey, I mean, you should just do a separate channel, just do like random crap, just talk
To-
about
to-
anything other than football.
To prove how much I love milk chocolate digestives, since last week I've consumed about 3 of these packets of digestives. I'm not ashamed to say it. I love
Fair enough.
Yeah,
digestives.
you know what? Fair enough. It's great stuff. I love it.
It is
The
what
only-
it is,
The only
mate.
problem with that though is once when you get a pack, and you'll notice, Annie, when you start having one, you go, I'll have a couple. Then it turns into half the pack.
Goes like that
Then
pretty
it turns
quickly.
into most of it, and then all of a sudden the pack's gone.
Yeah, that reminds me of some people that I support at my work does that, and they're not supposed to. Well,
Well,
but,
then there you go. You'll now know.
and
the
then I
struggles.
open another pack, and the same thing happens.
well, at least Chris Bowers
Exactly.
joined the conversation.
Chris, if that floats your boat, more power to you, my friend.
That sounds nice, actually.
Quite nice. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's
half bad. I have to try that now.
is our point.
Anyway, can we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's move on. So, do you guys like chocolate Cadbury's mini eggs?
Listen,
Yes,
moving on.
yes,
Moving on.
Yes.
Yes, by the way, I love them as well. They're lovely.
Way too expensive, mind, but
All right, we got at least.
Oh, wait till after Easter. You're fine.
yeah, we got it to like 50p.
Depends on the
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
you work in the supermarket, so technically you're gonna have to deal with all that crap. Anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, technically, on Good Friday, I'm not. Oh, yeah, Easter Monday, I'm going to have to. Shit.
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
anyway, Stoke versus Watford next or whatever.
yeah. That's
We're
what
going
I'm
from mini
proposing,
eggs to
actually.
Stoke Watford.
Thank you. You read my bloody mind, and that was the next fixture I was going to
So
go.
we're saying
to.
Stoke are mini eggs, and like I don't know, Watford's the dark chocolate Easter eggs.
Well, put it this way, I think the still honeymoon at Watford is beginning to
Fade away.
over.
Well, go on, Stefan. What do you think about it then?
Yeah.
Stoke's 3-1 win over Watford.
I mean, all credit to Stoke. The goals were nice play. But I thought just the way that Ed Still
Ed still.
came into Watford, they had such a positive start for a Watford manager, let's be honest. He started really brightly, but in the last couple of games, they're seemingly back to Watford ways of playing all right and not getting the results, which if it continues, we all know what happens at Watford.
Yeah. In other words,
So-
where
so-
Ed still
some
going
of
to
the
be out by
goals.
the end of the season.
Some of the goals in this game, mind, absolute beauties.
Stoke goals were absolute crackers. I will
And
admit.
the Watford goal as well. Iran Kunda, literally,
Yeah.
just it has the ball on the right side. Don't know what he's going to do with it. Just going to thump this, and
Just catch the
Arrows.
strike from distance.
it's a
Think it's no tomorrow.
ridiculous
And
finish.
Gallagher's goal's really good as well.
Yeah. Sorba Thomas plays over the top. Gallagher beats I can't remember what his name is. The Georgian centre back, not Jack Vidazza, a different Georgian fella. I can't remember what his name is. Beats him and then curls. Absolutely beautiful finish. I think the second, the Manhurf goal, the second one is also a nice finish. I know he misses the initial shot on his left foot, and then he comes on his right foot again, puts his foot through it, but with his toe end and blasts it in. It's some brilliant goals in this game. And Stoke have turned from being really defensively solid, nils and ones, not many goals in their games, to 3-3 and a 3-1. And now they're scoring goals for fun. So I don't know. I can't tell with Stoke anymore. But yeah, great win for Stoke. I'm not sure if their season is. I think their season is probably done. I'm not sure they're going to go and do put in enough of a run from now until the end of the season to go and get into that top 6
They're 9 points
place
adrift now, so it looks unlikely.
Yeah, I'm also Watford are inconsistent, aren't they? Which is probably which is probably why they're going to be let down.
Here's the thing, though. Stoke are only 1 point above their traditional 16th place finish, so we'll wait and see whether they finish there or not. If they can actually, honestly, at this point, I think what would be decent for Stoke, and this sounds a flippant comment, but it's not, genuinely finish in the top half, because they've never done that in the Championship. And ultimately, I don't think that top half is still good enough for Stoke in the Championship. But at least if you can get that, you can at least create something to build off a little bit. If you can get like top 10, top 12, then at least it's the highest you've... It sounds shocking saying this, but it's the highest they've finished since 17-18 since they got relegated then. So, I think Stoke and Watford, I think this kind of plays to me like both seasons are kind of over, really, barring how high you can finish or wherever in the league. And see you later, Chris, by the way. I've just seen your comments.
Thank you, Chris. Listen.
That's a West Ham boss.
Please share this
Can I just say, Chris, I hope West Ham stay up and Millwall get promoted. I would love to see the carnage of that fixture. Well, one way or the other, whether Millwall go up or West Ham go down, can they both please be in the same division next season? Because I really want to see that fixture.
That fixture is going to be chaos, let me tell you that.
Good luck to the Metropolitan Police, guys.
It'll be the same for us and them as well. So, you know what, Chris, thank you for messaging and joining us as well. Please subscribe to my channel as well. And also share it out to your other Millwall friends if they can handle a Leeds United fan hosting the show, if they can or not. So, depending on whatever. But like I said, I'm not a Leeds content. I'm a general fan content. So, that's what I do.
Well, I'll just say from a Sunderland point of view, I hope you're looking after Anthony Patterson. And I will say Tommy Watson, even though he's not with us anymore.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not at the club. I make it sound like he's died. No, thankfully he hasn't. No, he's just not at Sunderland anymore. I know.
Thank you, Chris. So thank you very much. And thank you for subbing onto my channel as well. Right, let's get on to the game at St Andrews. It was very controversial. The way
for the penalty from Sheffield United. That's
what is Jack Robinson doing, man?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The game finished 1-1, but the way it happened, it's like I don't get this. What Jack Robinson was doing when he penalised the ball, he thought it would have gone dead because James Builder was nowhere near the touch line.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, and the penalty was just ridiculous. By the way, that's what Birmingham get when they think Jack Robinson's going to be a good signing. But there you go. And there's a reason Sheffield United got rid of him. But yeah, I don't rate Jack Robinson at all, as you can clearly tell.
Yeah,
I've got to say from Sheffield... Sorry?
I was just going to say, you made that obvious.
Yeah, absolutely not. Joking aside, though, I think you've got... I mean, look, is it going to be too late for either of these teams to... Actually, how far are both off the playoffs before I make any comments like that?
7 points off for Birmingham City.
Birmingham probably have an outside chance, I think. 7 points, but obviously depends on Wrexham's game in hand, which I believe is on Tuesday. I want to say against Watford away. So who knows? But I think from Sheffield United's point of view, I mean, do you guys think that maybe Sheffield United are starting now to maybe have one eye on next season now and start to? Because in this individually in a result, I think it's a really good result. Down to 10 men away at St Andrews, and you managed to get a point. And I've got to credit, can't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth here, but Chris Wilder made a very good signing. Patrick Bamford.
Yeah. 9 goals.
Patrick Bamford's, what's that, his 9th goal, I think, in the EFL highlights said. That show said, so it was his 9th goal in the championship this season. So, I think you've got to give them, hand it to them, despite the bizarre. It was a bizarre penalty that they got. I think to get a point out of the game, I think is very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I think Sheffield are looking at next season now going forward, and especially what the expectations to start this season was just woeful.
They're going to be up for it. They're going to be up against it, Mike, because they're not going to be a parachute payment team next season, are they?
No, they're not. I think this is the last season. This season's the last season. So, and especially now, listen, they'll focus on next season, which means that there's going to be some outgoings where they might have to let 1 or 2 viable assets go. And I think that's...
Well, as you know, it's the consequence if you're a parachute payment team of not taking advantage and not going up. Well, from the first season, whereas thankfully Leeds took advantage the second season. But whereas if you don't go up your first 2 years, then it becomes harder and harder each season, doesn't it?
It does very much, and I think they will look assess next season what they do, because especially now, I hope they don't have a woeful season next season again like they did at the start. But because of the way the playoffs next season is going to change, that So
I
that
think-
now is going to be going to be interesting from 3rd to 8th place. And when it's going to be interesting.
we had a big discussion about that last week. I mean, well, before I ask you your thoughts on it, though, I think, to be fair, when they've got Chris Wilder at the helm, there's not a chance they start next season for me as badly as they did this one.
No,
and I know that's not saying much, because all they've got to do is get like a couple of draws in the first couple of games, and they've already started better. But judging by how badly they started the season, I think they'll be more relieved they're not. Well, okay, Sheffield Wednesday are miles behind them, but they're not going to be going down with their rivals. You know what I mean? I think there's a sense of relief that's not happening, but I still would be reluctant to call it a good season at the same time, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
For Sheffield United, I still think for what they had, they for me should have been in the conversation for the top 6. But I think with Chris Wilder there, they won't start next season anywhere near as badly. But you're right. But actually, I was going to ask you, Carl, what do you think about the playoffs then? What's your thoughts? Because we all had our say last week.
Yeah, listen, I see both the pro and the cons. I think the con is because, listen, we're trying to eliminate the dead rubber stuff with teams have done quite like, for example, yourself, Michael, last season you finished 3rd, and it was pretty much it was like you already got promoted, and you already got not promoted, you already got.
You mean we finished 4th and already secured playoffs? You knew you couldn't get top 2, but weren't going to drop out.
But look at the last couple of seasons, especially with the teams that have got up, it's been most of the same teams, and I think they try. I understand that, but the problem is it going to make with the 34 place teams will not have to play until the semi-finals, which is going to be interesting. I know they're trying to do what the National League is doing at the moment, but I think the National League, even when York City had the most points last season, they didn't even go up last season. It was Oldham got promoted, so in a way. We're gonna have that scenario again when the team finished 3rd or 4th place, do not go up. If especially it could be a team from 8th could go up. It's going to be interesting how the system's going to be there, and if it's going to be successful next season, do they realize that it's going to be the same for if League Ones or League Two? It's a question is. It's got to make these games got to be more meaningful than meaningless in a way. And I think that's what needs to be. The EFL needs to be very careful of this proposal, the trial it next season. And if it doesn't rectify the issues of the teams, who like say, for example, teams finished last season in 7th, 8th place. So season before, let's say, for example, Hull, under Liam Senior, they would have got into the playoffs, and I would have thought Hull would not have sacked Liam Senior in the first place. So I'm using that for example, but.
No, I get that. Well, like I said, we all had our say on that, but I think, well, unless the other two have got anything they want to add to that, I don't know.
No, I don't think.
Maybe apart from Stefan maybe going, well, this is maybe going to give us PTSD flashbacks to the National League days where you have to go through a playoff quarterfinal, then a semis, and then whatever else. But yeah, I think for Birmingham, Sheffield United, I mean, do any of you guys think that Birmingham have an outside chance of playoffs, or do you reckon that that's kind of the inconsistencies kind of cost them at this point?
It's the inconsistencies costed them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think they have a chance.
They had that.
I mean, hot and cold.
They had that good run during that sort of early New Year period, which I mentioned. I thought these guys are on it; they could do it, and they went up to 7th at one point, but they've just fallen off again a little bit. The game you should be winning with the game state, and you concede when you're up man ahead. And look, it's a good goal. It's a bit of a goalkeeping error by Beadle, but I don't know what he's doing. It's a great penalty save by Beadle. I don't know what he's doing for the Sheffield United. Pardon, the Sheffield United goal. But yeah, they needed to be winning that game if they were to, I think, mount a serious playoff push. And that's 2 points dropped, really big 2 points dropped as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right, let's go to the game at Carrow Road. What a good run for Norwich City at the moment. They won 2-0 against Preston off end, and a free kick from Kenny McLean. In his third goal in his 50th goal in 302 appearances since he joined Norwich from Aberdeen in 2018. I have to say, the fade. We talked about Preston moments early on about them fading, but they're just so fading so badly as it was a couple of weeks ago. in that top half, to vie for the playoffs. It's just now it's all just gone downhill for them.
Well,
They
they're
remind-
17th at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're reminding me of us. It's funny. Us and Preston have been joined at the hip since promotion from League One, and we both look like we're sort of playoff challengers. And ever since the sort of New Year period, we've both been absolutely tragic, and both now in the bottom half. Norwich completely changed their season around when they hired Philippe Clement and have been absolutely brilliant. What a job he's done.
He's worked out so well for them, it's unbelievable.
And if they keep him in the summer and they add, which you should think Norwich will, with the spending power that they've shown before in
They've
this
got the
division.
money from Josh Sargent as well to add to the kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they can add well, add in the players who are there, they have got the opportunity to push big style next season, because I think they're top two form since for 15, 20 games since Clement's been there.
yeah.
Well, they've won 11 of the last 20 games, Annie. 11 of the last 20.
It's
And
pretty
that
good.
would have included a period of his methods bedding in for the players as well. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So I think next season I'll be very excited to see what Norwich do.
But
Yeah.
my trouble is with Norwich, and we've seen this before. When they've won the league in the Championship, they've had 365 days in the Prem with not so much as a win part, gone straight back down, won the Championship again, come back up, done the same again, gone back down, won the Champ. They're what's known as, if you get in the top spot, a proverbial yo-yo club. We're up and down more time than a yo-yo. Can do tricks.
I would say in Norwich's defence, that's not a Norwich thing exclusive, though. That's nowadays, I think that's going to be a promoted club thing, because I think the gap to the Premier League in particular. I know it was a bit different when Norwich were there, to be fair, but
And the same with West Brom as well. You could put them.
well, I was going to say them, but Burnley's another example as well. Burnley have done exactly the same thing over the last how many seasons, and as Carl will tell you, same with me. Like the jump to the Premier League is a big one. Like it's so difficult now to be able to go up unless you spend a lot of money and spend it well. It's near impossible these days. But yeah, I do. But the problem with that is, especially, and I do get your point, because when you keep going up and down, I think Jimmy Carragher said this about Burnley. When you keep going up and going down, going up and going down, eventually you come down and you don't go straight back up, and then you end up kind of being slumbering around in the Championship, unless of course you're bad enough to do a Sunderland or a Luton or whatever and go down twice in a row. So yeah, I do kind of take your point. I just think with Clement, I think Norwich are onto something for next season. I think there's a lot of evidence there to suggest that there's an upward trajectory, and and it's not just the fact that if you ask Norwich fans, I think the performances have got a lot better as well.
Yeah,
so I think if you're doing that,
without a shadow of a doubt, and bringing in those two signings, Makoma and
Traore, the Australian as well,
yeah.
Abad or
and Ahmed as well.
Ahmed, something
Yeah.
like that. They've been amazing, those two guys alone, and then bringing in Traore as well. Oof.
Yeah,
Just goes through maybe
Torre.
maybe they invested the Nunez money though in January, which they needed to do.
Yeah, they looked like they were going to, because they were in a relegation battle at that point, so
Yeah.
they needed to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Torre, Ahmed, and Magoma looks absolutely like brilliant, and he was on loan in League One with MK Dons. Or was it League Two?
League
It was
Two.
League One. No, it was League One, I think, with MK.
Yeah.
And I think he's been in the Brentford sort of system for a while. He looks like an unbelievable pickup, and
I will always remember Magoma and Ahmed's debuts. Funnily enough,
I wonder why. Who are they against?
oh, well, you can guess. And yes, they played basically 11 men off the park that day. Every time we got the ball, I was hiding behind my laptop screen. I couldn't watch because they were that good.
That
Not-
game against Wrexham just showed that the Norwich did back. They hit the jackpot with those two players.
And guess what? Norwich are in the top half now. They are motoring along, and 9 points might be a bit too much with the
Game
players.
in hand, mind. If they win it, then you never know.
Yeah. They have got some. They have got some.
Game in hand, guys.
It's Southampton away, don't mind. So
They have got some tricky fixtures in there. They've got Southampton away. They've got Millwall away. They've got Ipswich at home, which is obviously the Derby factor into that. Derby at home, funnily enough, and Hull away. So they face a lot of teams. If they beat all of them,
you go, okay.
But they would have to beat all of them. I think that's you can't afford many slip ups.
Looking at Norwich's, because like I said, I think they got more than 60, 70 million pounds, not just with the Nunes, because also Josh Sargent's gone. Boy Science went to Porto for nearly 15 million pounds, and Jonathan Rowe went for around a similar price to Marseille. So they pretty much have got the revenue for next summer with the transfer of the outgoings this season to try to compete next season, which is going to be interesting because, like I said, because I think it's with some of those players which Norwich always been good at, especially with the squad, with the youth academy, so forth. So it's going to be interesting now with the money to spend, and they need to spend a lot in January. They spend a good amount, at least. I think it's going to be interesting what they do in the summer with Philip Clement because he's got a contract till 2029. So that's going to be interesting. Him commit to next season, just make sure that they have got that. They can get the transfer tags they need to bring in.
It's good that they're not missing Josh Sargent, by the way, because that was obviously a big talking point. And with the money coming in, what was it, 20 million quid? I think they got with Toronto.
20 million plus,
and that's one thing you've got to credit, because I've given Ben Knapp a stick in the past, but you've got to be fair to him. He's excellent at selling players, and that sounds very like, I know there's a lot of football fans that go, "Oh, you don't want to sell players." You have to in today's climate. You've got to sell
parachute team,
You've got to. It's just unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So I think Ben Knapp has been really good at that. So I think that to get 20 million for Sargent, sorry, I know you were going to say something, but I think next season, if they invest that money well, I'd be very excited to see what Norwich can bring in the summer. Yeah, especially with Clement as manager.
I was just going to bring up Napper actually because we've criticised him and in the past, and to be fair, still
justifiably,
still the players he's sold: Sargent, Nunes, Johnny Rowe, Borja Science.
Was Gabriel Sarra one of them?
Gabriel Sarra, yeah. They were all still at Weber signings, and he's not actually signed someone yet. That might change with Makama, Magoma.
And he's not signed someone yet who he's then gone on to sell a massive
Yeah. But Torre, Ali Ahmed, it looks like that's brewing, isn't it? And we're seeing signs of his signings now coming in and making an impact. And Philippe Clement can't just turn a bunch of players who are nowhere near good enough. They've got to be certain level of quality there, and they have got that. And I think we said that at the start of the season. We were quite excited when that summer transfer window happened under Manning, and now it's sort of those summer signings are fully coming to fruition, and the January signings have made a huge impact. So fair play to Napa. You've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fascinating summer for Norwich.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we've got 4 games left to discuss as well. We'll come on to Bristol City and Wrexham shortly. Let's go to Hillsborough for Ipswich Town winning 2-0 at Sheffield Wednesday. Eyes on and Jack Clark scored, the scorers as well. Ipswich left it late, but they're now moving close to the promotion places now. And that extends their beating run to 6 games now. And now within 2 points of Middlesbrough, and also have a game in hand as well.
Do you think? I think for me, what's massive for Ipswich, and I still can't get out my head Ipswich getting second. Now I know that the problem they've got is they're away from home in particular. They've been too inconsistent recently. But I just look at the other teams, and I just wonder. I still stand by. I don't know whether Millwall have enough for top 2 to have that level of consistency. I'm not sure whether Millwall have enough. And Annie might be able to comment on Middlesbrough better because they've just played them. But Middlesbrough obviously have been very good. But I think Middlesbrough strike me as they're very good in patches where they could win 5 or 6 in a row. And then they could have a couple of games where they don't win them. Now, to be fair, if you win the majority of your games, then that doesn't matter as much. You could probably get away with it. But I just think Ipswich is, what's what I'm looking for? Depth, I guess, by comparison. I know they've got a
Quality,
couple of injuries at the minute. Yeah, I was going to say quality and depth, which so they should have. Yeah, one parachute payment team, but I think Ipswich for me were the big winners of the weekend when it comes to the top automatic promotion race. And yes, okay, they probably on paper had the far easiest game of the lot. Not that any game's easy, but the least difficult game, I should say. But you've still got to win, haven't you? Watford didn't go there and win in midweek, so they left it late. But it's a game you've got to be winning if you're wanting to be pushing along for the top two. And actually, look, have you seen who their next fixture is?
Millwall at home, isn't it?
Millwall at Portman Road.
And look at Millwall. They've got to go to Boro after that as well. So
and Ipswich still have to host Middlesbrough as well.
Yeah. If it's defining, and I should have talked about it when we were talking about Millwall.
Head, actually,
Millwall have got 2 season-defining fixtures. If they somehow get out of that game, get 2 away from home as well, not even at the Den, at Portman Road and at the Riverside. If they somehow come out of it, still in touch. Then you've got that head-to-head with Ipswich and Middlesbrough. Then the iron is blazing hot. That's when you go straight. But Millwall have got, I think, if Millwall have got any hope of top 2,
they need to do well in those 2 games, don't they?
Yeah, they've got to come out of these next 2 games with relatively unscathed. They might lose one of them, possibly, but you can't lose both of them. If they lose both of them, then
I could see a scenario where Millwall go to Middlesbrough and win. I could genuinely. Yeah. I think it's a stretch for them to go to Ipswich and win with the quality that they've got. I could see them maybe getting a point potentially. I could see them maybe going there. So say if they got a point
straight, yeah,
you'd have to really be on it for a lot of the game. But in fairness to them, though, this is the type of game that'll be Alex Neil's bread and butter, I think, because he's the type of head coach that will go to these grounds and will be, excuse my language, will be bastards. And I mean that in a very good way for Millwall. They'll be very hard to play against. They'll slow the game down. It'll be the game state. It'll be managing it really well. I could see a scenario where Millwall go to, and to be fair, their record away at the clubs around them has actually been pretty good, I think. When you look at Wrexham and Hull as 2 examples, they've won away at both of them. And that's really, really good from a Millwall perspective. So I think not so much from Stefan's point of view when it comes to the former, I'm sure. But if you're looking at winning away from home against sides around you, I think Millwall have got that in them. I'm not sure whether they do it at Ipswich, but I could certainly see them doing it at Middlesbrough.
Just bringing it back to Ipswich and comparing them to Middlesbrough, Michael brought it up as well. I think Middlesbrough at their best this season have been better than Ipswich at their best. I think Ipswich are a well-oiled machine that is sort of playing the long game. In cricket, you'd call it taking it deep. Wait until the 19th, 20th over to go and win the game instead of winning it in the 13th over. That's what Ipswich feel like they're about to do in terms of they've got this head-to-head against Middlesbrough, who have also got to play Millwall at home in that run-in. It feels like they're the juggernaut that's almost just ready to make that late overtake at some point. And look, they're not the Ipswich of 22, 23. They're not. They're just
23, 24.
23, 24. Sorry, 23, 24. Got my seasons confused. But they're a team with a lot of quality and a lot of depth, and a manager who's done it before in League One, in the Championship before as well, and have got some unbelievable players. And I just look like a team that in the big moments are just going to win it. And they did it at Coventry. They beat them twice. They went to Middlesbrough and lost, but that was sort of early in the season-ish. I just have this gut feeling that all Middlesbrough's promise and all of Middlesbrough's excitement and this sort of fresh paint energy they have of, being the new kid on the block and coming out of nowhere and just absolutely firing and scoring goals under Kim Hellberg and playing this fascinating, fantastic, exciting open brand of football. And Millwall, the Alex Neils and the Barry Bannons and the Jake Coopers of this world who are just stoic and are going to be hard to beat. Just got that, as I mentioned, the juggernaut in the back.
Bit extra, haven't they?
You've, as I mentioned, the juggernaut that's waiting for overtakes and slips, and they've been pretty much on 2 points per game, which is promotion form. Pretty much somewhat since opening after the 5th game of the season, they've been very consistent for a long time. Whereas Middlesbrough have had 6 game winning runs. then 4 games without scoring a goal, and then another 6-game winning run. I think it was 4-6, and whatever it was. They've had their patches this season, whereas Ipswich just feel like they're constantly grinding out enough points to churning out points without being completely fluent and completely at their best to just do enough to get into the top 2, and that's what I think I'm feeling like at the moment.
I think for me, their next 5 games feel quite defining as well. When they've got Millwall obviously to come to Portman Road, then they've got a home game against Birmingham, East Anglian derby away from home. Then
that's the one, isn't it? That's the one.
And that's a resurgent Norwich, by the way, who I think will want to prove a point after the game at Portman Road. So, and they haven't got Liam Manning in charge, so that's always a help. Then after that, then they've got that Portsmouth game, which has been threatening to have been played for a couple of months now, which looks like hopefully it'll finally get played, and then Middlesbrough at Portman Road. So I'm very keen to see if Ipswich are in second after those 5 fixtures, and I mean without any games in hand for Boro or for Millwall or anything like that. If they're second, I think they'll take some stopping from that point, because I think they've obviously got Southampton away. That's been pushed back because Southampton are in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. But I think if they're second after they've played Millwall, Norwich, Middlesbrough, then yeah, it's very hard for me to look past them getting second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless anyone disagrees, of course.
No, I don't disagree at all, actually. Overall, for Sheffield Wednesday, we know that, listen, with what's been happening the last couple of days, with now for next season, they're likely to start on minus 15 points when the new League One season starts this summer. But especially we know with the they're in talks with the Stokes family, who are involved with who are one of the bidders before James Bard, who was part of his consortium. Do you see a bit of future for Sheffield Wednesday to get, hopefully, yes, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done with the Stock family if they are going to be the new owners? Do they realize that this is going to be a bigger, deep fish to fry to try to get that club back on into the 21st century of Sheffield Wednesday, especially it's been on the decline since for over 20 years?
Yeah.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it just depends on their ownership situation, doesn't it? I mean, I'm kicking a dead horse with this, but I think there's not much more to add, unfortunately. I think that, if they can get someone who's competent, who actually wants to invest in the club and who wants to bring the club back to competing near towards the top, which it should be, in my opinion, then yes. But I think next season, if they start with minus 15 points, consolidate at least, I think. Make sure you consolidate and make sure you can get your ownership problems properly sorted, and then wipe the slate clean and start all over again. And just sort of, and I think fans will have some degree of patience for that because of what's gone on, because of how bad the situation's been. I'm sure you guys will all agree here, but I think Sheffield, if I was a Sheffield Wednesday fan, I would just like a season where I'm talking about the football and not the background stuff, because I can only imagine how fatiguing that must be for them.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Well, like I said, hopefully Sheffield Wednesday, if they do get this ownership sorted out, I think it'll be a big plus for them, and they're going to be doing. I think they will have to do what Wrexham have done, especially just start all over again. And I think that's what they will do.
Get some Hollywood stars to take them over.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely as well. If that's
get Hugh Jackman to to get Sheffield Wednesday over. That'd be great. Wolverine.
You never know because Snoop Dogg has invested a stake in.
Well, yeah, that is very true.
So you never know.
You never know. That's true. That's true, Stefan. Indeed. Right, we've got at least 3 games to go. We've got to talk about probably another good result for the weekend, especially for Southampton to win 2-1 at Coventry City. Actually, Flynn Downs scored in his 100th game, and Masaki scored in Suki in the 8th minute. Yes,
well, at least Leicester lost. Well. So at least Coventry got beat.
He's here in spirit. Yeah, so Southampton now move back within 3 points of the Championship playoff places after they gave Coventry City their second home defeat of the season as well. So good result for Southampton. They really have been on a very good run, especially to go against the top of the table who are 8 points, who are still way ahead in the points, with Middlesbrough and stuff after Middlesbrough. We'll talk about Middlesbrough shortly as well with Bristol City. But yeah, good win for Southampton. They really are the player hunters now.
Quick question: was Stefan cursing Coventry when he was watching this game?
Was it cursing Coventry?
Were you going, come on, Coventry? You could have at least done us a favour and got a point and kept Southampton like 5 points below Wrexham, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know what? I wasn't surprised because
No, I wasn't.
we've known that Southampton have had this caliber of result in their locker for some of the season, not all of it. And I think under their fairly new coach now, they've really come on. They're really starting to motor. Do I think we will get a playoff place? So, nah. I just don't think we've got it in them now. But I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still 9 games to go. But nah.
There's that head-to-head at the race course, isn't there?
I was just about to say
Yes,
that.
there is. There is. And I think that'll be the game. Whoever wins that could end up in the playoffs.
And I can't remember. I think they announced it today. I think that's an awkward timing as well, or a decisive timing, because obviously Saints are in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, they play Arsenal on the Saturday and then 2 days later go to Wrexham.
Good God. Oh, my God. No.
I suppose.
I feel
being as
sympathy there.
impartial as ever, eh, lads?
No.
They're going, oh, yeah, Southampton's going to have time to prepare for Wrexham.
But if you think on it that way, it's not really fair for Southampton because if you're playing Arsenal in the quarters and then 2 days later we're coming from London to Wales, you've got to factor in travel time. There's not going to be much time for rest, recovery, and training. So,
Saying that, to be fair, though,
yes.
I'll be interested to see how Southampton are in a week's time because they've got 2 home games coming up this week. Norwich at home on is it Wednesday? Wednesday night. And then Oxford at home next weekend. So
The Norwich game will be a tough game.
yeah, absolutely.
Realistically, on paper, we should get past Oxford. I say should because Oxford have been in a good run of form. But
I've just gone to the door.
My light's just gone dark. Bear me a moment, lads. Hang on.
stick 50p in the meter, pal, and you'll be all right.
Just put money in your meter.
I think Saints are the biggest threat to Wrexham at this point, and wouldn't be surprised if they get in just because of the. And I know Wrexham have the power and the quality as well, the year one parachutes or strength and power that Southampton have. I wouldn't be surprised if they pipped Wrexham to 6th or even get 5th because Hull's still in this conversation for sure.
I'll stick my neck on the line. I think Southampton make playoffs.
I'd suggest so. Yeah.
I think which one out of Wrexham or Hull, I don't know, but I think they'll finish. But I think they'll finish instead of one of them. So I know what Stefan's thinking. If there's a Lord out there, can Hull City start dropping off like a stone, and then Wrexham can get above them, and then Southampton can replace Hull, and Wrexham will be in the playoffs instead of Hull City?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Stefan, out of
what
interest,
I'm thinking.
if Wrexham finished, say, 7th or 8th, how would you view the season?
It's a very good season, without a shadow of a doubt, because as I keep saying to you, and I've said this all season, and you know what I'm going to say, my old friend Mr. Opta, we gave us a 0
Yeah, I forgot this is coming.
Yeah, we knew it was coming, weren't we? Yeah.
chance of staying in the league. I'll repeat that, 0.2% staying in the league. And we've gone over and above that. I know what some folk have said, Parky's not very good at championship level. In years gone by, I would have agreed with that. But since we've got such calm owners at Wrexham, a bit like, let's just say Liverpool's when Klopp was there, And way back in series 1 of the documentary, we had the challenge: do we sack him or do we not? We chose not to, and look where it's led the club. Now, I know you'll still get the skeptics saying, oh, he's not very good at championship level, but I think he's proven himself at Wrexham. I think he's comfortable at Wrexham. He likes the club, he likes the town, he's got the players playing well. It all factors in, and at the end of the day, it's getting the results on the pitch, and it's keeping Wrexham in the division and then some.
So basically, at the end of the day, what you're saying is that Opta is a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
To be fair, actually, Carl will probably agree with that, because I'm sure I remember at the start of the season, Opta gave Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley absolutely no hope of staying up.
Exactly.
And now both our clubs are going, jog on, Opta. See you later. Bye bye. So yeah, Opta can be a load of nonsense. But on Southampton, yeah, I mean, I think that I just look at the quality they've got as a year one parachute team. And I think if I was to hang my hat on it, I wouldn't be shocked if Hull were the team who dropped out, personally. And that might sound like audacious at the minute, but I just look at Southampton. What points are they on now? 57.
It doesn't sound audacious at all.
Well, no, I just mean that, like, let me put it this way. I think Southampton get the playoffs, and my gut feeling says it's in place of Hull. Which I know sounds weird. I don't like flip-flopping my opinion, really, but so obviously a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Hull being the automatic conversation, which of course they had to be. If you were going to include Millwall and Ipswich and Middlesbrough, Hull weren't far off those teams, if you remember. But
yeah,
I just look at Wrexham, and I look at the team that I know we'll come on to that in a minute. I'm sure when Stefan waxes lyrical about Wrexham beating Swansea, as he has every right to. But I think when you're looking at Wrexham's team, I'm looking at players like Okonkwo, I think it is, Broadhead, Doyle, Lewis O'Brien, George Dobson's coming on really, really well. You know, Kabore on loan, I think, from Man City. I could be wrong on that one. Kiefer Moore up front. There's a lot of quality that's playoff level within Wrexham's side. And I think Hull particularly, I don't think... Okay, Hull, to be fair, you factor in they went down to 10 men yesterday. But I just think Hull, if you're Hull, I don't think you want Wrexham and Southampton chasing you down. That's kind of my way of looking at it. So I still think Southampton get in there. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't. But I will say, though, it also says a lot about how open the league's been this year. When if you remember how bad Southampton were in terms of league position at the start of the season. I know under Will Still they were creating a lot of chances and weren't taking them. But I more mean they weren't performing to their, well, I guess XG or expectations pre-season. And yet they're 3 points off sixth now. So, you know, not saying the message is be shit the first 3 months and then you'll have a chance of getting playoffs still. But you get my point. So I don't know.
Then sack your manager.
I pretty much, yeah. Well, all right then. I'll put it on the spot, lads. Do you guys think Southampton get playoffs? Well, we know Stefan's saying no, but I suspect he's saying that out of overhead.
Ooh.
But I think, okay, Carl, do you think? Carl, Andy, what do you think? I think Southampton get playoffs, and I'll call it now. I think it'll be
in its current form. Yeah, I do see Southampton getting the playoff. In the current form with it being on, yeah.
But that game at the race course is massive, though.
I think they overtake Wrexham before that race course game, and I think that's what's going to be absolutely decisive. My opinion.
Stefan looked like he was going to have a stroke on air. Bless him.
I think Wrexham are going to go into that game with just win. I don't know. I don't know. I think Hull will be there because I don't know. I have no idea.
It's hard to call, isn't it? Saying that, though, mind. I've just seen Hull's next fixture, Sheffield Wednesday at home, though. So yeah.
Hull's fixtures don't look too bad, do they?
No, they don't.
Because I think they play a few teams that are on the beach.
For context, so Hull have got Sheffield Wednesday at home, then they go to Oxford, then they've got Coventry at the AKM Stadium, Sheffield United away, the host. This is where their fixtures probably are arguably quite tasty for them anyway. They've got them Birmingham after that. Well, actually, Sheffield United, Birmingham, both of them could be on the beach then. Leicester and Charlton both away. and then it's Norwich at the AKM Stadium on the last day. So,
If you
man,
mind that, would you?
this put us on the spot even more now.
I don't know. I think
I'm
I'll
going to
go
say
Hull
yes. I think
Southampton.
Southampton get in the playoffs, but I have no idea who it's going to be at the expense of.
I'll go Hull Southampton just to one, Stefano.
I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one thing. If this makes it a wee bit easier for you to call, the one thing I do know is that Parky won't let his team be on the beach until the very, very last whistle has blown of the season.
Right, so
Well,
that's
you'd hope
Hull.
so.
Right, so congratulations.
Yeah, you'd hope so. You're in a playoff race.
So congratulations, Hull and Southampton, for getting into 5th and 6th in the Championship playoffs this season.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know. It's a tough one. My gut says Southampton get in there, but it's purely because they're a year one parachute team, and I think they're starting to show their quality a bit more now.
Just look at their players. I mean, yeah, we don't need to list them all, but just unbelievable quality all over the pitch. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'll have Southampton in there. I'll probably say Wrexham drop out at the expense of Saints.
I will say Wrexham's fixtures, I think, look quite interesting. So I don't know if you want to, after this, you want to sort of segue. By the way, just quickly on, before we talk about Wrexham, Coventry, I don't think there's any reason to be worried.
No.
I think if you actually said to them before the weekend, right, you're going to lose to Southampton, but Ipswich are going to be the only team in the top 4 to win, and they're away at Sheffield Wednesday. I suspect Cov fans wouldn't have come. I think Cov fans would have felt a lot better when they found out the Middlesbrough score and found out that Bristol City had scored a 96-minute leveler. So, and he's like, got the Cov. You're welcome, lads. My team is shit, but I'm glad we did you a favour.
Yeah,
so,
no worries, mate.
So I don't think there's any reason to be worried with Coventry. And I still think Coventry needs 3 wins and then maybe a draw or 2, and that's probably going to be enough. That's probably going to be it to at least secure automatic promotion as a minimum. So I think they'll be.
I think 3 wins is the golden ticket, isn't it?
You can even afford 2 wins and a handful of draws, couldn't you? Even though you want 3 wins, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and they've got Sheffield Wednesday at home.
All right.
So I think that's another thing. So I think, but you've got. We'll tell how good a win that is for Southampton, who probably needed the 3 points a bit more than Coventry, but I think Coventry would be more than all right.
And Cov have no more head-to-heads remaining, which is just so that pressure is not there on that head-to-head.
And what's great for them, Ipswich, Millwall, Middlesbrough, Millwall. Ipswich, Middlesbrough. Yeah. Brilliant.
They'll play each other, don't they?
Get better on that weekend, get results, and you're fine. Each weekend, if you get good results, then you're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But for Southampton, I think it's going to be massive for them because I'm looking at Wrexham's fixtures. If you want I'm suspecting Carl might have wanted to move to Wrexham Swansea next, but if you're wanting to do so, if you're looking at Wrexham, I think Watford away feels like a big fixture for Wrexham. They probably do need to go there.
Well, you said I thought I was going to move to Wrexham. I was not going to because I was going to leave that as the last one.
Well, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Then we'll look at that at the end. Then.
Look at the end. I thought we'd get Annie's take on the game at Riverside yesterday. What a late equaliser, Annie, especially
where they made Coventry fans very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point.
Yep, that's a point. That's it.
We weren't very good for 86 minutes, and then we realised, our best midfielder's playing at centre-back. Let's just move him up the pitch. And guess what? We started pressing. We started moving the ball forward, and we had Middlesbrough penned in for 10 minutes, and we scored from it. Shock. Not absolutely no one, right? I think the big turning point in this game is actually when Middlesbrough score, because Hayden Hackney gets injured. I think in the build-up to Middlesbrough's goal, he gets subbed off, so he steps out of the game. And as I mentioned, Jason Knight is playing at centre-back because we don't have any centre-back, so Jason Knight's having to play there. And we changed from a back 3 to a back 4 for the last 15 minutes. Jason Knight goes in. We don't necessarily have an extra man in midfield, but I'd say we have a stronger overlooking midfield with Randall and Knight in there alongside Tommy Horvath and Bax Bird. And you have them 3 running around against Aidan Morris, Alan Brown and Alex Gilbert. I'd say we probably at that point overrunning them and overpowering them in midfield. And we were really good last 10 minutes. And I wouldn't say we deserved the point, because if you looked at the highlights, I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Absolutely.
There is literally Alan Brown missing from a yard out, and how on earth Radek Vitek has saved that, I don't know.
Because the ball didn't even go.
1-0,
Because
wasn't it?
even he's one of the, those shots. The ball didn't go across the line. I thought it went in. I mean,
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah, but it's trickling on towards the inside the goal, and Vitek, because it would have been very easy for him to have maybe some half control over it, and for someone else, I think it was Tommy Conway, to come in and put the ball in the back of the net, but he falls right on top of it. Unbelievable from Vitek. What a keeper. And then that was at 1-0. Was it a 1-0? Was it 0-0? That was at 0-0.
Yeah.
And then at 1-0, he makes a save from a one-on-one.
Yeah, I did see that. That was a massive moment. That
absolutely humongous moment. If that goes in, that's game over. Middlesbrough win, and we probably don't even lay a glove on Boro after that. So yeah, what a huge moment, and I'm sure Middlesbrough will be looking at that moment and circling that and going, if that goes in, this promotion race looks a lot different, because they have an extra 2 points, and Millwall have obviously gone and lost after them. But then yeah, Adam Randall, he's been very good this season and pops up with a brilliant header. And if you actually notice from that corner, our goalkeeper's up, Vitek, and Aidan Morris is at the front post and has got a big sort of bear hugging Vitek almost.
Yeah.
And Vitek moves away from the front post almost towards the corner, creates the space for Randall to run into, and Randall then goes and heads it in. So Vitek having an impact defensively and offensively, because he makes the space for that goal for us. And obviously the header is brilliant. But yeah, that last 10 minutes just felt like a fragile Riverside. Obviously this game means very little to us in terms of overall season, and we're probably just going to finish 14th, 15th, whatever nonsensical position we're going to end up in. But it just felt like on edge a little bit, the whole ground, and we took advantage of it. Obviously, not having Hackney in there last 15 minutes, ever since they scored, didn't help. And yeah, we did quite well to take advantage of what was. We got a bit lucky. Their best player and their talisman and the guy who makes everything tick for them in midfield stepped out, and we took advantage of that. So yeah, it's a good point. And it wasn't necessarily a case of, oh my God, what a big point that's going to be in our playoff race. It was more that's such a relief, because it's been 4 defeats in a row, and just stopping the rot, and just not losing, just not losing. And yeah, I know we dropped down to 14th, which is it is what it is. But it just felt like we just didn't need to, just couldn't lose again. Otherwise, yeah. I don't know, but you just couldn't lose, and it was huge sense of relief. And that's 9 games unbeaten against Middlesbrough, and they just can't beat us.
A bit of a bogey team for them, aren't you?
They just can't beat us. So it was 5 wins in a row before this game as well. And considering we have no centre backs, George Tanner got injured in midweek, or sort of after the Leicester game, and we got that. And so I saw that bit of news come through, and I was like, what are our centre backs going to be like? Because Neto Borgia is not available because he's on loan from Middlesbrough. Obviously, Rob Dickey is injured. Rob Atkinson's injured. Luke McNally's injured. Probably 3 of our best centre backs. You've got Noah Ryler in there, who's a new player into the team and new player to the country. And then you've got, who was it, centre back yesterday? Jason Knight, obviously, who is a midfielder, played 48 games in midfield last season. And you've got Cam Pring in there, who is a left wing back, bursting up and down the left hand side, and he's got having to play centre back. So the fact that we've got a point out of that game is a remarkable effort. And to keep it at 1-0. You know, the old, you know, keep it tight and then have a go towards the end, almost like a cup tie between a lower league opposition, where that's all we can do at the minute because we're just that bad. And with that bad, and we've not got any players. We've just got, when you go away to like side like Middlesbrough, we just have to, you know, restrict them and well, hope for the best in the counter attack. And we did that, and we've pushed last 10 minutes with a little bit of quality we brought off the bench and Tommy Horvat, and got the point, which I don't think we particularly deserved, but championship for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The way you described it right there. It's what I missed so much when we were in that league. So yeah.
Why you miss playing Bristol City?
Well,
I don't miss watching us.
No. Let's get this right, lads. I'm only going to do it once just to wind Danny up a bit, but he misses playing Bristol.
It's terrible. It's terrible when you. It's not funny, Stefan. When you know you're about to say it. When you innocuously put it into the middle of a sentence, that winds me up. But when you make the big build up, doesn't wind me up to the same.
I know what you mean. Like you kind of like, as you know, the build up's coming, so it's like
it's like
that. So it kind of ruins it. But hey, hope at least they could play Bristol Rovers in the Carabao Cup first round next season. You know, that'd be quite nice.
See, he's got AIDS on him.
That's how you do it. Why would
God.
you be that nervous about playing them? They're 2 leagues lower than you.
I just don't want to play them. Yeah.
Well, when did you last play each other, actually?
2014, I think.
Yeah.
And did you end up winning that?
Obviously, yeah.
So you just want to preserve your unbeaten record then?
That's it.
I think. How long has it been? I think it was 20 years since they've last beaten us. I'm going to have a little Google actually.
Well, Stefan would say Bristol versus Bristol more than anything else.
I mean, surely that's got to be a derby because you're in the same town or city, so it's surely got to be the Bristol derby, right? It must be.
Yeah, it goes to the Bristol derby.
Well, yeah, it was Bristol Rovers versus Bristol City.
That's the point of it.
Probably would be the Bristol derby.
Yeah, no, but look at the look on Annie's face when we say Bristol.
Well,
I mean, I have to admit, it is something that always.
Last time they beat us was in. Last time they beat us was in 06, 07 in the EFL Trophy.
No, 20 years ago.
Wow.
06, 07, yeah.
How funny would it have been if they were both playing in that when it was called the Bristol Street Motors?
They're crap.
Sorry?
They're crap. Can you not hear me? Oh my god.
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah, it was me who couldn't hear you.
Hang on.
He just giving you an excuse to say they're crap again.
He got you. He's got.
Oh God, he's gone.
He got you. I think he believed you with that one, but
yeah, maybe. Well, all right. Let me ask you two then. So, what do you think of that game from a Middlesbrough point of view? That's a missed opportunity, isn't it? And if Hayden Hackney did go off injured, then it's going to be very worrying for the running if he's out for some length of time.
2 points dropped for Middlesbrough.
And they're not winning the last four home games as well.
They lost at home to Charlton, didn't beat Leicester at home, and obviously didn't beat Bristol City at home. So,
just per chance, by the way, who scored for Charlton at Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Oh, hang on. You've given me the license to do this now. I have to get this clip up.
I heard this one. Connor, back in it.
Yeah, that's exactly the clip I am looking for. If you bear me 2 seconds, I will be able to find it. There you go. Right, so I've found it here. So, yeah, and I'll take it to you.
Can't hear it.
Oh, yeah, hang on. He basically goes, I hope Connor Cody's feeling the same, the prick.
I heard that now, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did. But, yeah, it's just so amusing just watching Annie, how he just doesn't like him. So, when you see Connor Cody scored to get Charlton safe and you're going to get relegated. I love your aunt, but yeah, I can't. But yeah, your own fault for having a social life, of course. As being called both. Well, no, as soon as Leicester got promoted. But yeah, no.
Yeah, well, he's not gonna have a social life when they get to League One. I'll tell you that one. So,
Oh God, imagine that.
Almost ground hopping days in League One for Andy Boy.
yeah,
You know what would have been funny, right? If Bristol Rovers had been in League One and then Leicester have gone from playing Bristol City in the Championship and then next season they're playing Bristol Rovers in a league fixture in League One.
They'll be playing Swindon. That's close enough, isn't it?
ish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll be playing MK Dons. Hey, look, the price of MK Dons are good for generous for away allocations. To be fair,
There's a reason why they got the reason why for that.
well, yeah, because they barely get any fans in. So
Yeah, right.
compared for their stadium, the classic example of stadium being too big for their fan base. But yeah, I think for Middlesbrough, I think what Annie pretty much said. I think Middlesbrough will probably just hope Bristol City get relegated next season if they're still in the Championship, because they'll go, well, yeah, then they can stop taking 4 to 6 points off us every single season.
Oh, it's so funny when I realised, oh my god, that's 9 games. I just laughed. It's just
funny though, because as you keep saying, like Bristol City are pretty much their season's done now, and yet Middlesbrough still can't beat us.
We've got no players. We're absolutely tragically bad, and they couldn't beat us. This is not an insult. This is not a dig at Middlesbrough. How have you not beaten us? We're there for the taking. We're a sitting duck. We've come to Middlesbrough, and we've just sat there going, please have your way with us.
Put it this way, right?
Couldn't beat us.
I know that they're not a parachute payment team, but if that's an Ipswich, they get that over the line. That's one of the big reasons for me why I agree with what Annie said about Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough at their best, like, okay, Ipswich are kind of like here, Middlesbrough at their best are here, but Middlesbrough aren't there often enough, whereas Ipswich are constantly round there. That's the best way I can sort of. I know that looks a bit fucking weird, but that's the best way I can get my point across. Like, so that's where I think Ipswich will have enough to at least overtake Middlesbrough, and I think when Hayden Hatley went off, Annie, did they mention how if that injury looked nasty enough to be suspecting to be out for a certain length of time, or do they not know?
He went down once, got treatment, came back on. He played for like a few minutes, and then he went off injured. It was a calf. It was a calf problem. I don't know how long he's going to be injured for. I think you'll have to ask him Hellberg on that. I suppose we'll find out.
That'd be massively concerning if he's out for a length of time.
If he's going to miss, this run-in, then that's a huge problem for Boro, because they looked absolutely. They looked nowhere near the same team they did when Hackney was there.
And by the way, it was great for Hackney, because that'd be a gutting for him, because he's been one of the best players of the league this season by a mile.
Yeah.
So
he himself won't want to miss this run-in, will he? He's a Middlesbrough boy. He wants to take them over the line, won't he?
Yeah.
I mean, if say he did get injured for look, we don't know the extent of the injury yet, so it could be absolutely nothing in this. But if say he was injured for say about 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, surely they would think if Middlesbrough get into a situation where they know they're going to get playoffs, then make sure Hayden Hatley's wrapped in cotton wool for the playoffs. Then effectively.
International break.
Sorry?
International break coming up.
True. Yeah, very true.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, you know what? We saved the last to the last. Yeah, I know. We got to let, you know what? Stefan, just take it.
I know, we're talking about Bromley 3, Bristol Rovers 1. Sorry.
I had to hear Ryan and Rob talk about this for 90 minutes, so I have to hear Stefan as well, please.
Since when did
that was tragic, wasn't
it?
I don't know. I didn't mind it myself.
I actually thought it was quite comical.
Well, yeah, you're gonna like it, aren't you?
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
Shock horror.
I mean, to be fair, Annie, there was an option called where's the button 401 and go over to the next.
Yeah, but I like to whinge and I like to moan, so I'm gonna say that. And I did turn it to the other one.
Yeah, that's why you support Bristol City then.
I know.
He's probably moaning, we're too high above our rivals. We need to go down twice.
That's not what I said.
You love to moan, apparently, so it's fine. Sorry, Stefan, go on, mate.
No. It was the Lewis O'Brien derby, because if you remember, Lewis O'Brien was at Swansea. So there's another derby for us to chalk off for name of derbies this season.
The We Hate Cardiff More derby.
Well, or
Imagine Nathan watching that picture on
Wales is
Friday, by the
beating
way.
the North Wales derby, that kind of thing. But no, I actually thought it was a pretty even game for a little while, actually, lads. I didn't think we walked at all. I think we took our chances. In particular, what a finish from Nathan Broadband or Broadhead to
Love the
score
broadband reference. That was great.
to score the first goal with some nice play.
What a pass through from Callum Doyle, by the way.
Yeah. And then who scored the second goal? There's an argument it was Doyle, but it came off. Swansea players were kind of deflected in. And then
Colin, wasn't it?
Colin, yeah.
Yeah. But I always thought that Swansea were going to hit back. And I was actually quite surprised that we never, because I thought Swansea was actually going to take the lead inside the 6 minute, I think it was, when Jan Vipotnik was through
Big chance.
one-on-one with Big Arthur, and he stuck out his leg and deflected it wide. So happy days. Oh no, good 3 points. We've got a game in hand against Watford on Tuesday, which is going to be tricky at Vicarage Road if it still has any aspirations being there beyond the summer. Then these are the kind of games that you'll think, maybe I do need a win here. Otherwise, Mr. Potso is going to be coming and knocking on the old door and kicking me out it. So Tuesday's going to be tricky, but what a performance on Friday in the South Wales derby. Fantastic. Fantastic 3 points. I know it dents Swansea's chances of making even 10th or 9th or 8th, something like that, but they'll bounce back, they'll be fine. They just had an off day, to be perfectly honest, and we make no bones about it, we took full advantage of their slip up. And as it just so happened, the results on the Saturday, the majority of them went our way as well. So I was kind of cheesing come 4:45, 4:50 on Saturday afternoon too, because you always think playing on the Friday night, you're going before everybody else. So even if you win, all that hard work could be in vain because all the other teams in the top 6 could win on the Saturday or Sunday whenever they play. They could all win, and you're like, oh, we've won on the Friday, but it's basically for now all because they've all won too.
Can I just say, though, I think I would love to have seen Nathan's reaction on Friday watching Wrexham versus Swansea as an avid Cardiff fan. Is he going, well, can both teams get beat? But I imagine if he had to pick one to win, he probably would have picked Wrexham.
Yeah, of course it would.
So, I would have loved to have been. I would love to have been near him when he was keeping an eye on that game, going, I hate both of these teams, but I hate Swansea more. So, yeah, well done, Wrexham.
And I suppose as well, we were talking about how Southampton are going to be in the cup, and then they're coming down to Wrexham 2 days later, all the rest and recovery and all that. But with us getting not ashamed at all, knocked out by the World Cup champions in Chelsea, that gives us extra training time, extra time to rest the boys, extra time to do loads of things, and hopefully we can take Southampton at the race course and beat them.
Do you know what? Right, I would love to. I think that the race for the playoffs is fascinating. Actually, there's a race for quite I love how the the top 2 race is still wide open. The
Yep.
playoff race is still wide open, and then the battle to avoid relegation is effectively still wide open. So, you know, and actually, it's quite nice that, and actually, Carl can probably relate to this as well. As someone, given obviously as a neutral when your team's not in it, it's so nice to actually just kick back and watch what's going on here.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah, yeah. I had a feeling you might say something like that. It's like, well, we're not doing any of those things, so it's fine. Yeah, it's just going to be so fascinating, and you know, I actually can't believe how we're less than 2 months away now, effectively, from the playoffs. Which is, where's the season gone? Where's the time gone?
I know.
Like, absolutely bonkers. But yeah, so I would love to see Stefan's face now during the playoffs if Wrexham end up finishing in them. Because is this the first time Wrexham that will have experienced a playoff campaign since the National League when Rob and Ryan first took over?
Yes, because all the other leagues we've done the back to back, and this could be.
Can you imagine if Wrexham won the playoffs? Back to back.
Yeah. And this could be the first time in history that a club does.
Annie, that was my first when Newcastle got taken over as the richest club in the world.
To back. 4 back-to-backs in a row are pretty much unheard of in football. So,
Stefan, does that mean you want to have a streaming service derby next season? Or as Annie used to call it, the George Dobson derby, the Callum Doyle derby, the Nathan Broadband derby, the Phil Parkinson derby.
Who loves Keith more derby?
Yeah. Who's in love with Kiefer Moore derby?
the old Disney Plus versus Netflix derby.
Disney Plus v Netflix, bring it on. Oh Lord. But yeah, no, I think joking aside, like I think even if Wrexham didn't make playoffs, I still think it's been a very, very good season so far. It would give us, and Stefan will probably love to hear this because it sounds like I'm going to blow smoke up the backside here. But with the players that they've got and with the capital they've got to go and invest in the summer, if they didn't go up this season, which if I'm honest, Stefan, I don't think you will at the minute, even if you did make playoffs. But I think even next season, I think I'll be quite. I think they're like. I think with Wrexham, I think there's very good reason for me to suggest that they'll be up there and go again. When a lot of the new players that have come in have gelled better. When, for example, someone like Callum Doyle has got still quite young. Will have another year worth of being at Wrexham, effectively feels like a champion. He feels like he's been playing the championship for ages now, even though he's only like 22, 23 or whatever it is. So, you know, there's a lot of scope there for Wrexham to get better, even if they don't go up this season.
I would agree, but let's hope that we can defy all the odds and get up.
And they'll spend money in the summer, which is what normal functioning football clubs do. Anyway, so
that's the plan, and that's the plan. But don't forget as well, we're revamping the ground, they're revamping the old court behind the goal at the turf pub.
Are you building the Wolverine stand?
What's that?
Are you building the Wolverine stand?
Yeah.
Well, as far as I know, it's still going to be called the Cop, but you never ever know because Hugh Jackman is a good friend of Deadpool's.
That's exactly why I said it.
Exactly. That's why he said the thing. Why he said it, Stefan? Because even I knew.
That's why I'm really a fan of the Marvel films.
I mean, it would not surprise me because there is talk of redeveloping all the other stands as well to make them the same kind of look.
One step at a time, Stefan. Yeah, one step at a time.
So, what I was going to say was, if you do redevelop the other stands one by one, you could name them Deadpool, Wolverine, Incredible Hulk.
Why don't you name
Rob Mack was in Once Upon a Time in Philadelphia. Yeah, his character needs to be recognised as well. Come on.
It's always,
You could have a stand called...
You can't name it after Mark Ruffalo and Hugh Jackman ahead of Rob McElhenney. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, then. So how about you name one stand after Rob McElhenney, one after Ryan Reynolds, one after Blake Lively, and then one after Hugh Jackman? Problem solved.
Okay, so we've got Wolverine and Deadpool. So
so Deadpool, Nice Pool, Lady Pool. Last week it was chocolate. Now this week it's Marvel. Maybe this
Living
will be a
pool.
segment every week and going the random segment nobody asked for and what we're going to start talking about.
The Always Sunny in Philadelphia stand. There you go.
The Philadelphia bar.
Sorry. The It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia stand. There you go.
Actually, wouldn't
In
mind
fact,
visiting the race course.
you could probably rename the stadium map from the Stoke Terrace to the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Stadium after Rob Mack.
Well, yeah. As we got off topic of trying to the state name,
Like Carl's like, let's just end this before we descend into further madness here.
Exactly. Right, let's finish off.
Huh.
Coventry is still top of the table by 7 points, despite the loss. Ipswich were the only two teams in the top 6 to get a win this weekend. Southampton are only 3 points behind Wrexham as well. Down in the bottom of the table, with Norwich now moving up to 12th place, so just a point behind Swansea. Like I said, let's say now down into 23rd, even Oxford. West Brom out in the relegation zone with a point ahead of Oxford, despite they have a bit worse goal difference as well. So, yeah, it's been an interesting weekend, boys. And like I said, we will see other stuff during the next weekend, the fixtures as well. As I said before the international break comes. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting fixtures up the next couple of days as well. So, but thank you, gentlemen, as always. We'll see you guys next Sunday at around 8 o'clock again here on the Total Levy podcast. Like I said myself, what have you guys done now? Because I was busy. I was too distracted.
No, I was praying, saying, "Let me be buzzing off my tits next Sunday." Considering we play Newcastle away.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
against Derby again, round 2.
Please don't lose home to flipping West Brom, please.
Okay, and then Stefan's going to go, please let Wrexham beat Watford away, and then let them win next weekend, and let Southampton be crap and drop points.
I'm not sure why I'm bothered.
Yeah, start praying because you all fucking need it, especially this week.
Who will Leeds play?
Brentford at home.
Brentford at home.
Tricky game. Brentford are quite good, actually.
Yeah.
Don't concede a penalty.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be time when we take it again because last time he missed. Or was it against? What was his first game? Oh yeah, Sheffield Wednesday in the Carabao Cup when he skied it over in his penalty shootout.
I think he more means that if you get a penalty, don't maybe give it to Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
As I was going to say, if you concede a penalty, don't do that because Igor Thiago plays for Brentford anyway.
I know he's in my fucking fancy
I
11.
would say that, but Enzo Lefebvre did that against Brentford, so I'm not really in a position to talk.
We're at home next weekend, so.
Do you play ahead of any of the? Do you play ahead of any of? No, hang on. Spurs and Forest. Oh no, they all play on Sunday. I know the Spurs and Forest play each other, and then West Ham go to Villa on the Sunday.
Yeah,
you play first, don't you? Okay.
Spurs Forest next week.
Yeah.
It's right after Newcastle Sunderland.
It is.
Why has Andy got an evil grin on his face? Is he going to sit there with his milk chocolate digestives going?
Yes, I will. Yeah, nice 2-pint, bottle of milk as well.
Oh God!
Well, you can watch the derby at 12 o'clock next Sunday to know what mood I'm going to be in next Sunday night.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I'll be back in Bristol for 5.5 weeks after that. So,
well, speaking of Premier League, right? Myself and Doug should be hopefully doing our 20 Premier podcast, and it should be up on Wednesday at lunchtime as well. So keep an eye on that as well, because I know Doug is very unhappy with today's result against Spurs as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. And we'll get Michael's review on Sunderland's defeat to Brighton as well. So yeah, so it'll be an interesting discussion over this week coming ahead. And then myself, Stefan, and Reese will be back on next Saturday to do the Saturday show around 11:30 as well. And we'll also got the championship view next Sunday as well too. But thank you for everyone for watching us today. Please hit that like and subscribe button and as well to keep eye on more content as well. If you've been noticing a little bit, we have been going through a rebrand of the channel. Thank you to Stefan for his, to do some graphics as well. You're going to see some changes over the next coming weeks as well. So yes, keep an eye on that as well with both the the Saturday show, and also the championship review. You've seen a little bit of changes with the graphics itself to make it a bit more presentable as well. So thank you for everyone. We'll see you guys at the same time next week, and all have a good week. And if you're a Liverpool fan, yes, I know you commiserate. You could beat one of the worst teams that's still not that win. Yeah, you fucked it up for wasting my time when you as a Leeds fan.
Yeah, it's not just Doug who's unhappy at that result at Anfield. I think Carl is a little bit as well.
He knows what I'm going to say Tuesday, so he's prepared for it. So yeah.
Well, thanks to everyone who's watched. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.